Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Wednesday, August 6th, 2025. Boy, month is almost a quarter over. Wow, seems like yesterday was just July 31st. Okay, but here we are, Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help you on your adventure of this life, your journey through this life. This is week 4, day 3 of our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. This is a 4-week course for our people in prison, those who are incarcerated, hopefully repenting and rebuilding life for a better future where they leave the past behind for good. But here we are. And again, it's Wednesday. We have a really big show. What not a bevy? Buenos, what not a bevy? So we have a big show. We are going to focus our themo. Mimo is the third law of power. What is that? What's the third law of power? Who knows? The shadow do. And the TED Talk is on Ignatius. So this week is, we call it leadership, but it's really don't crash the boat. You're on the journey. You know what your purpose is, the adventure you're going to go on. You have built the boat. You've gotten your crew. The game is afoot. The adventure has begun. Now the thing to do, or the thing not to do, is to screw the pooch. Don't screw the pooch. Right. That is the objective now. Don't have a mutiny. Don't crash the boat. Don't lose sight of what you're trying to do. Keep focused on the adventure, which for us is to become one with Jesus and the Creator, right? Follow His commandments. We might talk about that last night from Bible study, but I'd kind of like to do that on the weekend if I can remember. How are things in Fort Jacks? Power perceived is power achieved. First law of power. What not a bevy missed it the other day. Second law of power. Cindy Lou. Okay. Got stuff from outside. So, blessed, beautiful, and brave. Oh, oops. Okay. Second law of power is never give up power, right? Power perceived is power achieved. Never give up power is the second law of power. Mainly what we do is we don't project power and we give up power. We don't have to do those two things. Before we get to the third law of power, let's get our stuff. We'll go to the worksheet. Advice from an 80-year-old. Once in a while, take the scenic route. Yes, that is a good idea. Take the scenic route. Got people who they can do the work at the factory, they just can't comprehend a simple text that says, attached is the schedule, the machine is not done, we're on a limited schedule, here is the schedule for tomorrow. Keep heart, keep faith, keep the faith. We're gonna get there. Still working on the machine, we're gonna get there. But tomorrow, here's who works. All right, so what does Seth Godin have to say? The table of contents and the index. The index is the search bar, the random access to the facts we can look up. The table of contents, though, that's a point of view. It's a taxonomy of how to understand a complicated idea. It's the skeleton of the narrative in the pedagogy for learning. We're at risk of becoming all index. The world could probably benefit from your table of contents. Right, okay, cool. Or not just the random access to the facts. Okay, how's we doing for time? Time. Such a runic rhyme. Okay, third law of power. So once again, first law of power. These are the actual laws of power. These are the laws of power that everybody that has power knows. They're the laws of power that the people who are not special do not know. Why? Because giving them to people who are not prepared is like giving a loaded gun to a 5-year-old in a room full of people. Something bad is going to happen. These are laws of power, not ideas of power, not concepts of power, not suggestions of power. These are the actual laws of power. Well, why am I telling them? Well, because our students are at such a disadvantage, we need to level the playing field a little bit for them so they have a fighting chance against the people who control everything. But you have to use them properly. If you use them for the bad, if you go down, use the force on the dark side for personal gain, you get sucked into it. And then the first thing that happens is good people will avoid you. So now you're left with dumb people and bad people. The dumb people will smell you from a mile away because that's how they see the world. And the bad people, the evil people, they will pull you in and then use you, crush you, discard you, like Darth Vader in the first episode of Star Wars with the captain of the ship who failed. You have failed me for the last time. Crunch. The guy to become captain of that battle star had to be, or whatever, he was the captain of the ship, had to be pretty smart, pretty high up there. But that's how quickly he was discarded. So don't use these for bad. So without further ado, don't. Without further ado, third law of power. Ready? Are you ready for it? Are you ready, Watanabe? Do you remember it? Will you remember it when I tell you? Third law of power. Power is taken, it's not given. Power is taken, it's not given. If somebody gives you power, who has the power? The person who gave it to you. They still have it. You have authority. You are the regent. You're the agent. Remember. Oh, yeah. You have authority. Cops have authority. They don't have power. They might have power over you. We're not talking about small p, we're talking about capital P power. Now you could say, well, if power is getting other people to do what you want, then and cops get other people to do what they want, then cops have power. Well, they have been granted power, they have been given power, but they in themselves don't really have the power. Yes, on a limited basis over you. So in the hierarchy of things, yes, you could say they have power over me. They can get me to do what they want me to do, right? That's what cops do. You're going to do it one way or another. Power is taken, it's not given. So here's what that would look like. Hey, what not a bevy, you're in charge while I'm gone. Cool. I come back and say, okay, I'm back. Thank you. You can return to where you were before. And you say, no, I don't think so. I am going to stay here. Now what? Well, one corollary to the third law of power is if you're going to kill the king, kill the king. If you're going to take power, make sure you do it, because if you don't, crunch, you will be discarded. Alrighty then. So, today is the weekly breakfast, volunteers breakfast for the orphans and widows, for our homeless people, where our churches get together to talk about the next event. This is the precursor to the small groups. So that's kind of good. Also got to get to the factory to make sure people showed up for work. That's good. And what else? Oh yeah. Last night at the, in quotes, Bible study, the non-Bible Bible study, at that we learned that what? It was the story of the widow and the mite. Jesus in the temple, observing people making the donations, giving their gifts, and the wealthy people did theirs. And the woman had only 2 tiny, small copper coins, 2 mites that she put in. And Jesus observed that she gave more than anyone else. And then we went off on this crazy tangent that eventually was to the point where I had to say something. I just had to say something, because it was, there's joy giving everything you have. You're down to nothing. You've given, like the old widow. It implies she gave everything. That was joy. She did it for joy. Now, there's nothing in there that said it was joyful. And then we got really complex and really deep. It's kind of like, if you understand this over there and you take that, you go over here and you do that, then you'll get that it's a gift from God to give everything. Well, if it's a gift from God to give everything, then it's really from God. So you didn't really do anything, right? I mean, it's very good. So I just had to say something. And that was, hey, guys, I think we're overthinking this. Jesus said, here's the first 2 commandments. Love God with all your heart and mind, soul, and love your neighbor. Love one another as I have loved you. The widow was doing what she was commanded to do. The other people were not. They were only giving a small bit of their earnings, their profits. They weren't giving of what they actually had. She was giving her all. She was doing what Jesus said. Jesus didn't say, hold back. Help love one another if they're nice to you. Love one another if they love you back or first. Love those who love you. He didn't say that. It was love one another, love your neighbor as yourself, love one another as I have loved you. And if that is what you do, we are commanded to do what the widow did. And it's hard. Right. It's very hard. We have these emotions and we have these thoughts of, wow, what if I give everything and I have nothing? So dangerous when you have a bunch of amateurs teaching amateurs, because as we've learned, amateurs teach amateurs to be amateurs. It's important to learn from the experts. Invest in learning from the experts. not having the Holy Spirit tell you what it means to you today. And tomorrow it's going to mean something different. So then what does it ever mean? Okay, well, time is racing. I got to get to the place to see the peoples. And with that, we're going to say Shivas and Shalom. What not a bevy? Send me a text about your schedule and cut.